Hi, I'm Summer. Welcome to practice today. We're going to tend our roots, our feet. Doing some foot care goes a long way for supporting you every step you take in life and definitely creates an important foundation support for all of the other standing poses and beyond on the mat. So you might want to grab, if you have props at home, 2 blocks and a blanket. If you don't have props, that's okay. You could also use a pillow in lieu of a blanket. Let's get started. Please come to sitting with your hands behind you and your feet a little wider, more like outer hip distance. And take a moment here just to press the floor away, lift your chest, widen your collarbones. You're sitting tall. And we're going to start to just rock really on the sitting bones. So not letting your knees go wide right now, but almost like a little toy boat on the sea in the bathtub. You're feeling your sitting bones, and the opposite hip will lift a little bit. And just start to connect breath and movement, getting in this rhythmic flow today. Rhythm starts to help get into this language and communication with the body itself. So we're remembering that we're a part of something bigger. We're being supported by breath, being supported by movement. We get to feel and experience all of that rather than push our body through practice. Pause now and start to rock your knees more windshield wiper style. So your knees go over to one side, up, and over to the other side and up. And keep going. Use your hands the whole time to create a steady pushing energy to lift the inner body. And I want you to slow it all down so that you're creating resistance as you lift and lower your legs. You're slowing down like you're moving through like a viscous, thick kind of honey. Taking your time to experience any sensations here, especially around the hip joint. We're getting that synovial fluid within the joint space to kind of thicken, if you will. It's like an egg white. And when we're stiff, when we're sleeping at night, it gets thinned out. And as we start to mobilize, that will thicken up, easing our joint mobility. Now, next time you've completed a set, pause. Bring your feet a little closer in. Bring your hands a little closer in. See if you can start to walk your hands in more and just lift your seat up a little bit so you're in a supported squat. Looking at your toes, line them up across on the same plane and spread and lift the toes. See if you can hover them off the ground. As you do that, press like a stapler, press down through the big toe and inner heel points, and notice the arches across the inner foot are really defined as you do this. Now, keeping that, reach over and ground the pinky side of the foot and the outer heel and have a peek. The outer arches of the foot, that one arch there is going to lift more. Keeping these 4 points grounded, can you lift your toes a little higher, even if it's just in your mind's eye, and try to spread your toes even wider to the edges of your sticky mat. Breathe. Strengthening the arches. We're doing not only arch and footwork here, but hug your outer ankles in, hug your shins in. Now bring just your big toes down. Just your big toes. So all 4 other toes are up. Keeping your big toes down, bring just your pinky toes down as well. So the 3 toes in the middle are up. It's okay if it doesn't work out. Do what you can. Look at your feet. Create a mind-body connection. Now lift all 10 toes. Bring the baby toes down, the big toes up. Baby toes down, big toes up. Little higher big toes, and then big toes down, all the other toes up. Keep the big toes down, bring the pinky toes down again, 3 in the middle up. All toes up. Very nice. Now have a seat and slide your legs out. Hands still supporting you from behind. That works well. Press out through the heels now. Pull the toes back towards you. So the front leg muscles, if you will, are contracting, the back are lengthening. And then I want you to push slowly through the ball of the foot like a gas pedal and start to slow motion reach to point the toes. And do this slowly like seaweed in the ocean. Curl the toes in as much as you can. And then begin to curl the feet back. Keep curling the toes under as you pull the toes back towards the body. And once you get as far back as you can, pause. And then let your toes slowly unfurl and spread them like a fan. Let's do that one more time. Push through the ball of the foot. That activates your calf muscles as well. And then start to point across the foot. Curl the toes under, curl, 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 even as you pull the feet back towards the body. Pause when you get to that place where you're as upright as you can, and then spread the toes and fan them out. Now rock your feet over to the right. All 10 toes just pivot right, and then up and over left, up, right, up, left, up. Now circle the feet around so they're mirror imaging the circle from right to left. And you want to take your time. This isn't about just pumping it out, but really articulate the movement around the circle. Go the other direction now. Our feet are our foundation. The feet line up the leg bones and go all the way up, as we know, to the hips and the lower back. So if you have low back pain or hip tightness, you have to really start and pay attention with your feet here. Now, as you come neutral, you're going to reach and point the left foot, but flex back through the right foot and then go back and forth slowly. Again, with that muscular kind of resistance that we were doing before. So you're hugging your leg muscles on all sides like shrink wrap, wrapped around, and you're pushing as if you're really stepping through thick mud here. One more back and forth through your feet. Very, very nice. Now bring your feet back in outer hip distance, and you can even scoot back a little bit. You're going to start to lift your seat up, and now we're going forward with the knees. And just go so your thighs are about parallel to the floor. Focus on not letting your knees and thighs go wide. Keep them hip bone distance. And I want you to just rock a little bit. This can be very big for the soles of the feet. We're stretching out that tissue there. We want to kind of bring some good juice to the feet, if you will. This area can kind of get rigid as we get older. So movement is really key. Now start to dip the knees, maybe tap down and up. Another one of those, tap and lift. And now tap the knees and hold. And maybe you're not tapping. Maybe you're just reaching for it a little more. Just stay, find your edge where you can keep breathing. Lift your chest, looking forward so your head and neck are not straining. Breathe here. Spread the toes even. And your toes are tucked, but you're not crunching into the joints. You're reverbing, if you will, back up. You're trying to lift out of the ground. So you're actively creating space. And now walk your hands closer to your feet. Lift your chest, sit upright. Walk your knees back so you're more upright here. Keeping your toes tucked, bring your hands to the floor in front of your knees. Inhale, look up. Spinal roll, exhale, and round chin to chest. Round into your back. Again, inhale, start at your tail, open up. The spine moves like a wave. Exhale, round. One more time, open. Let your body lead you. Any sensations or tightness, you can rock into it. Take an extra breath there, rounding. And then opening, neutral spine. You're going to lift and lower your knees a few times, rocking up and down, up and down. Good. Now point the toes, sit back on your heels. So your shins are parallel. They're not touching. There's a little space between your heels. So you could stay right here, or I'm going to add an option. If you have a blanket at home, you can roll it up. If you don't have a blanket, you could also use a pillow. I'm going to open my blanket one time and roll it from the shorter edge. And I'll show you from the angle. So you can see my feet initially here. My toes cradle over. I want to get the top of the foot over the blanket roll there. And this is not about collapsing into the feet. I'm spreading the toes and pressing them into the blanket roll. And this is toning a lot of the strength across the top of the foot. We're not here long. Again, you could use a little something at home, be creative, or just do this kneeling and do the same work. Spreading your toes, pressing into the ground there, and try to energetically lift the top of the foot up. Now use your knuckles and just give your feet a little massage, rocking side to side like you're kneading dough. Keep actively spreading the toes, actively pressing through your toenails. You'll also feel your shins are getting some work here across the top of the shin there, especially if you wear big, heavier shoes. This might be a really, really big stretch for you. Breathe and feel. Good. And now we're going to remove that, leaning forward. And here's your other option. You can do a blanket under your knees. As you can see here, that's going to give another angle of going across the front line of the shin. Or the block option is like a supersized effect. So if you have them, you could explore it. It's not necessary if you don't have the blocks. I do like to kind of pad it a little bit. I place the blocks side by side, lowest level. Just put a little padding in here. Once again, this is big. So we're not just collapsing into the feet. I'm pressing the floor away through the toes. Let's hold the knees now. Inhale, look up. Exhale, round. Inhale, pull on the knees, roll through the spine, look up and back. Exhale, round. Inhale, open. And round. And now neutral spine. We're going to come kneeling to all fours. So if you have your knees elevated, you can stay. Otherwise, you can do this without props, no problem. And go ahead, tuck your toes under and just feel your feet now. You've already done a ton of work. Glide the right leg back behind you, straighten the leg and rock. And switch. Left leg back. Feel, experience that work, kind of a burning, an opening, a connection, a feeling there. From all fours again, inhale, spinal tilt, look up. Exhale, scoop and round. As full as you can, one more set like that. Finding the back bend. And then rounding. And now neutral spine. You're going to think of your rib cage softening down. Ribs going left, ribs going up and over to the right. And see if you can start to create a circular circuit there. Picking up the pace as you see fit. So you're stirring around this lateral motion of your rib cage. Again, your knees could be on the mat or on the props, doesn't matter. And now reverse. Ribs go right, ribs go up, ribs go left, ribs soften down and around. Sometimes it's really helpful to break it down into those circuits, little step by step, small bites. You start to feel your fluid body here. Very nice. Now, if your knees are elevated on the blocks, you're going to come off and you can either remove the blanket and slide your blocks forward and separate a little bit, or you could do this without props. This is downward dog. And I'm placing my hands in front of the blocks and putting my forearm against the block edge. And on an exhale, lifting up. And the block is here to create a boundary, giving some feedback of not collapsing in the arms. So you're kind of backed out, if you will, but really allowing the kind of exploration of how boundary strengthens and supports your wrist and your shoulders. Look at your feet. Line up your feet across and have them separated to fist distance. And now lift high up on the heels and melt down. High up on the toes and then melt down. One more, pulsing, slow motion like you did the seaweed. Slow it all down. Now bend the knees almost to the mat and then press back up. Don't move your upper body. See if you can keep it steady. Bend and hover your knees. Toes are tucked. Heels hug in energetically. Lift back up. And one more. Energetically, don't let your heels go out. Very nice. Lower your knees. Point your toes. Bring your big toes to touch. Child's pose either on the floor fully, or you can use the blocks if they're there to rest your forearms on and bow. Slow everything down. This would be a wonderful practice to repeat again and again. You could pair it also before another kind of standing pose or sun salute practice. How we ground and work the four corners of the feet, how we articulate our toes, all of this will continue to develop over time. The more you practice, the easier it will get. And again, your low back health, your hips, every step you take in life starts at your feet. So if you want to bring relief to any of those places, look at how you're standing and how you're working your feet. Please stay in this pranam, this deep bow, for another few breaths. You might end your practice there or take a moment in Shavasana. But I hope you carry this with you off the mat through everything you do today. Be sure to leave your comments. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss a class. And like the class if it works for you. You'll be able to find it easier next time as well. See you back real soon. Namaste.